Hi, this is Jared Dees from thereligionteacher.com. Let's talk about St. Joseph. Joseph in the New Testament. Who was he and why is he important? Well, St. Joseph in general is the husband of the Virgin Mary. He raised Jesus as his son. We know that he was a carpenter living in Nazareth. And the stories that feature Joseph in the early parts of the Gospels, one is he had this dream of an angel to protect his family from King Herod. And we know that he went out of their home into Egypt to save Jesus from being killed, and then back home to Nazareth where Jesus was raised. We don't know what happened to him for his death because he's not mentioned in the gospel stories about Jesus' adult ministry. So it's likely that Joseph was much older than the Virgin Mary and then died before Jesus became a full adult. We can maybe look at three different words that feature and explain why Joseph is significant in the Gospels. One, he was a faithful man. And so he raised Jesus as a faithful Jew. There's stories of him, of course, with Mary presenting Jesus to the temple, visiting Jerusalem when Jesus was 12, and practicing the Jewish customs, of course. And most of all, he was faithful to God when the angel visited him in a dream. He was faithful to the Lord to take Mary as his wife and then to protect his family from King Herod. So that faithfulness is a really important part and an example for us in the stories of his life. We also know, of course, he was a family man. Not only did he take his family to Bethlehem to serve his duty and be registered there where Jesus would be born, he was always protecting his family, always making sure that Mary and Jesus were safe and listening to God's plan to make that happen. So he was a family man, first and foremost. He raised Jesus as his son to be a carpenter like himself. So he was raising Jesus as a father, and Jesus to the point where Jesus was known as the carpenter's son by some when he first started practicing his ministry. And finally, he was focused. It's interesting that Joseph never actually utters a word in the gospel, so we never hear anything from his mouth. But that shows that despite not being a man of many words, he was focused. He was determined. When the angel said to do something, he did it. He didn't waver. And that focus really is a great example for us to not waver, but to take action. And we know that phrase, actions speak louder than words. Well, Joseph is a great example of that in our lives today. So St. Joseph, Joseph of the New Testament, he was a faithful man, a family man, and a man of focus in his life in pursuit of being the best father and faithful person that he could be. Go make disciples. God bless.